let's talk reptiles. I'm Summer. Let's talk reptiles. So as you can see, I'm not in the store. I am visiting family right now. It is the day after Christmas when I'm recording this episode, and I just wanted to make sure that I got my weekly recording of episodes in. One thing that's difficult for me is consistency with things like this, and I really want to consistently produce Let's Talk Reptiles. A part of that being disciplined, and wherever I am, making sure I'm actually working on this project. So I'm Summer. Let's talk reptiles. The topic for this video is the power of money. Now, I know bringing up the idea of money and talking about it in relation to our reptiles can sometimes be a dirty subject. And I happen to think it's important for us to have these conversations because, yes, this is a hobby, but this is also an industry. And the hobbyists support the industry. And there's oftentimes that we see things happening within the industry as a whole, or products being created, things of that nature that we hate, we don't like, we wish they didn't exist. And I want to talk about the power that we have to create change and growth, evolution within our industry through the power of money. So let's get into it. I mean, it's a really simple concept, right? We live in a capitalistic society, which means money is power. We all have votes, and that vote is the money in our pocket. So every time we buy a product or we support a business or we even watch a video, like all of those things, that's us voting yes for those individual things, those individual products, those individual companies, so on and so forth. And I think when, as a hobby, we make the idea of talking about money, the fact that a part of breeding, a part of bringing new reptiles into this world, that a part of that is about making money, and not being willing to talk about those things or making that idea taboo or wrong really opens the door for bad things to happen and to continue to happen, because it leads us to ignoring the fact that money is power, and that money, the way that we use our money, the things that we buy, the businesses that we support, that's us voting for those things. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. So overall, breeders, you have to make money in order for this to be viable. And it really depends on what your goals are as a breeder and as a company. Like if you are a small hobbyist breeder and you're just looking to bring in a few extra dollars so that you can support your addiction, support your hobby, then that's fair and that's important. And if you're, say, a medium-sized breeder or a more serious hobbyist breeder, like no matter how it goes, it is important that there is money coming in so that you can support the work that you're doing, be it bringing in new breeders so that you can diversify the bloodlines of the animals that you're producing so that you can produce healthy, strong animals, or maybe it is being able to pay your electricity bill so that you can afford all those UV lights and basking lights that the animals need in order to be healthy. Either way it goes, there is a money aspect there, and it is important that we don't ignore that or we make it taboo. I've seen posts on groups, Facebook and otherwise, where people will condemn other folks, other breeders, because they're like, oh, they're just in it for the money. Like that's all they care about. And I do agree that that is a big downside, especially when we start talking about the idea of capitalism and living, breathing creatures. Things can get really ugly really, really fast, right? And being able to distinguish between the folks who actually care about what they're doing, the animals, the work that they're doing, the people that they're helping, and folks who really don't, and they're just slapping anything with a cloaca together to produce more animals so that they can attempt to make more income. There's a clear line and distinction between those groups of people, and it's easy to tell and see where that line is when you look at the quality of their animals, the health of their animals, the way that they talk about their animals, all of that, etc., etc. I've been to many a reptile show and there's certain reptile shows that I won't ever vend, because walking through there, looking at the practices of the breeders, the health of their animals, I could tell, like, oh, you can't possibly care about these animals to have them here anywhere in any existence, have them looking the way that they do, malnutritioned, sick, all of those other things that let you know that those animals are not being treated well, right? So the other side of that, once we fully acknowledge that it is important for individuals who are doing the work to provide animals to this hobby, that it is important for them to think about money, to make money, to care about those things. Once we acknowledge the importance of that, it becomes possible for us to remember the power of our individual dollars, right? So say those folks that I've seen at shows whose animals are sick and dying and just in general not in good condition. If I were to go and then buy an animal from them, then I'm voting with my dollar, and I'm letting them know, yeah, dude, I totally condone what you're doing. I totally condone the health and quality of those animals. I'm okay with all of this. Here's my money. I'm going to bring this animal home. Now, I know some of you are going to be thinking, yeah, but my goal was to rescue that animal from that condition. And I do understand that. And this may come across as just not an animal-centered thing to say, but by buying that animal that's sick and dying from, and whatever it may be, if it's a big box store like Petco or something, or if it's a small breeder at a show, by going in and buying that animal, you are essentially satisfying the want and the need of that big box store or that person selling that animal, which is to turn that animal around for money. And on a humanitarian side, yes, the idea of bringing that animal home and nursing it back to health and giving it a good life, I totally understand that. I have done that before as well. But by giving this person money, voting with your dollar, they don't really care if you bought the animal because it's sick and dying and you want to give it a good life. All they know is now they have more money so that they can continue to do what they're doing, right? So in that instance, even if it's you wanting to rescue that animal, by engaging in that practice, it's having a bit of the opposite effect. You're making it more possible for them to continue to do what they're doing, right? And there's a lot of products out there that are made for reptiles, and we all know them, we see them, that are just not great at all, right? And I'm talking things like electric heat rocks and carpet and all of these things that, like reptile carpet, calcium sand, all these products that are made for reptiles, enclosures that are too small. The bearded dragon kit, that is a big one, comes with a 40-gallon tank and the wrong type of UVB bulb and a red light and all these other things. When we buy these products, we're letting these big companies know, hey, yeah, this product line is doing well, it's making money, so let's keep producing that product line. We have to let these companies know with our dollar, the power of our money, that hey, this product is not actually desirable as is. And the more people who take that stand, the more reptile stores who take that stand. Like, for example, we will never stock the bearded dragon, we will never stock the bearded dragon kit in our reptile store. We won't do that. Why? Because if I buy it Again, I'm voting with my dollar, saying that that bearded dragon kit, I approve of it, it should exist. So reptile stores have the power to say, no, I'm not going to buy this bearded dragon kit because it is not adequate for bearded dragons, and it gives consumers, it gives customers the wrong impression that if they buy this bearded dragon kit, they're going to have everything that they need so that their bearded dragon can be strong and healthy and happy, and it's just not the case. If they buy that kit, what's actually going to happen over time is that their bearded dragon is going to get sick. It's going to give them issues. It may need a vet visit, all kinds of things of that nature, right? So that's what it means. We don't buy those heat rocks. Reptile stores don't stock those heat rocks. We don't stock the carpet. We don't stock the chameleon kits, the bearded dragon kits that are incorrect for the animals that they're designed for. And when those companies start to see, oh man, the numbers are down on this bearded dragon kit, let us do some research and figure out what is going on here and what we can do to turn this around, right? And the same thing for those heat rocks. They're like, oh, these electric heat rocks, the numbers are down on them. What is the problem? Why aren't people buying them? Do we need to re-strategize and make changes around this particular product line, right? So when it comes down to it, we have a lot of power, but it has to be done collectively, and that's the other side of things, right? Like, I can say as an individual reptile store, I am not going to stock the bearded dragon kit. I am not going to stock the chameleon kit, right? But if I'm the only reptile store, if the SHAP, Reptile Education and Supplies, is the only reptile store that's saying I'm not going to do this, then it's not going to have a big impact, right? But if 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 reptile stores, independent reptile stores across the country stop buying these products, then it's going to become a lot more noticeable that something is happening and there's a problem. Now, when it comes to big box stores like Petco and PetSmart and all of that, they as a company are only going to make decisions based on what consumers do. So if they are stocking, say, the bearded dragon kit as an example, it's an easy example to stick to. Say if they are stocking the bearded dragon kit in their stores, and we as consumers stop purchasing those from those big box stores, then the big box stores is going to cause a trickle down. They're going to be like, oh, this product isn't really selling. It took us a very long time to get this product off the shelves. We're losing money. What is the deal with this? Maybe we should stock less of these because people are buying less of these. And then that trickle down is going to make its way to the manufacturers of these individual products, right? So we have to speak with our dollars, but we also have to speak collectively with our dollars. And that's a big thing. We all have to say together, community action, hey, this isn't working for us. This is our way of letting you know this needs to change. It needs to evolve. Things need to be done differently, right? Like I said in the first Let's Talk Reptiles, in order for community action to be successful, it needs community support, right? So if we as a community want to see these types of changes within the industry, in terms of seeing better, bigger practices with breeders, seeing better products being produced by big companies and small, we have to vote with our dollars. We have to support the products that we want to see within the market, support the companies, the breeders that we want to see within the market, and stop supporting the ones that we don't, the ones that need to evolve or that we feel and believe need to evolve, right? That's what we need to do. All right. That's all I have to say on that particular subject. I would love to hear your thoughts, though. What are your thoughts around voting with our dollars? What are products that you wish weren't around? Products that you can make a commitment to stop buying and encouraging other people to stop buying? What are awesome breeders that you think are doing a great job that you can start encouraging people to support those guys? Like, there's people that I think are doing really awesome work. For folks like Roy Blodgett with Wellspring Herpetoculture, I think he's doing awesome work with the animals that he produces, and supporting someone like him is you speaking with your dollars and letting Roy know, hey, you're doing awesome work, man, keep doing that, right? So what are breeders that you think are really cool, that are doing really good work, and you want to see them succeed? Word of mouth, tell other folks about them. Folks like Fairy Tale Dragons, like, I love the work that Heather does, and she's such a warm, generous with her time and information human being, right? So that's how we can start this process. That's how we can continue this process. If collectively we decide, this is what I want to do, I want to stop buying these products and encourage other people to do the same. And I want to start supporting these breeders and encourage other people to do the same. And collectively, over time, that's how change happens. All right, that's all I got. I'm out.